If you're someone who travels a lot for work, or maybe you're a student living in a tiny sardine can of a dorm, but you still want to take your Xbox with you, then maybe an attachable monitor might make your life a little easier. This is UPspec Gaming's xScreen monitor for the Xbox Series S, and this is DEPGI's portable gaming monitor, also for the Xbox Series S. They're monitors that connect to the game console so that you can carry around the device and play games when you're not at home. These displays are excellent for any situation where you wouldn't be able to use a TV. I'm someone who's used to carrying around game consoles when I travel, and it sucks having to find a TV to use sometimes. So these attachable monitors have been a total game changer. The Xbox Series S is the perfect current-gen console to travel with due to its tiny footprint. So let's find out which monitor pairs best for your portable gaming needs. I reviewed the xScreen earlier this year, and I'll drop a link to that one somewhere on the screen right now if you want more specific details about that one. I recently got sent this DEPGI monitor, so I thought I would put them head to head and find out which one makes for a better purchasing decision. I'll leave timecodes and chapters down below so you can jump around and find out specific information about their various features. The xScreen is an 11.6-inch 1080p screen that can output 60 Hz. UPspec Gaming states on their website that the screen does not support HDR, since that would be too great of a power draw for them to attain with this small of a form factor. But that tiny footprint allows the xScreen to sit flush against the Series S when folded down. It connects to the back of the console, sticking out about 1.5 inches from the Xbox. DEPGI's monitor is a bit larger at 12.5 inches. It's also 1080p at 60 Hz, but it does support HDR. In order to get this additional size, the display has attached side panels, making the overall footprint of the console about 1 inch wider. It's also larger in the back, taking up 2.25 inches in space. DEPGI's monitor is larger, more powerful, and you pay for that in portability. On its own, the Series S weighs 4.25 pounds, and both the screens are around 1.5 pounds by themselves. The xScreen plugs into the HDMI and one of the USB ports on the back of the Xbox. You then screw in the 2 included latches on each side to lock the monitor in place. Due to its design, the xScreen does block access to the Ethernet port and the other USB port on the back. Luckily, you do still have the front USB port to use. The storage expansion port is also accessible. DEPGI's monitor also sits at the back of the console but doesn't plug in at all. Using the included screwdriver, it screws into place by use of this additional panel that mounts along the side. Every port on the back of the Xbox will be accessible, but you will need to use the HDMI port to connect to the display. The DEPGI monitor also includes a second HDMI port, in case you wanted to plug something else into the device at the same time. I can't think of a great reason for this, but if you can, let me know in the comments. It also has 2 headphone jacks on the back, another feature you won't really need since the standard Xbox controller has a headphone jack on the bottom. Even though the xScreen blocks a few of the ports you might need, I haven't run into actually needing them so far. Since the Xbox supports Wi-Fi, the Ethernet port isn't an issue, and the front USB port has been enough for me. The xScreen is also easier to connect to the console since it doesn't require a screwdriver. If you have one of these displays, you probably won't be disconnecting and reconnecting it from the Xbox that frequently, but regardless, from start to finish, setting up the xScreen is a quicker experience. Regardless of which monitor you pick, both of them still need to be plugged in. Each monitor doesn't have a built-in battery to power the console. But keep in mind that having to plug this into the wall is still a great deal more portable than carrying around a TV that you need to power and plug an HDMI cord into. In terms of your cord management, the xScreen only needs to use the Xbox's power cord to power the full unit. Although this is ideal, the xScreen isn't powerful enough to include HDR in the display, something the DEPGI monitor does have. As for DEPGI's, you need to plug the console into power, then you need to plug in a tiny included HDMI cable from the console to the monitor, followed by powering the monitor with another cord that plugs in via USB. It's worth noting that the DEPGI monitor does include a USB plug for you to use, but you can just use one of the Xbox's 3 USB ports to make things more compact. With all this, you're looking at 3 cables to power the DEPGI monitor, which is the same as if you were plugging this into a TV. At least it's lighter, Since portability is the name of the game, the xScreen wins this category. Having to plug in 2 cables to the wall is a drag, and needing to also remember to bring the USB adapter with you is just another thing to carry, let alone the 3 cords. UPspec Gaming also has a few accessories on sale to go with the xScreen. Most importantly, they sell a carrying case that fits the screen, the console, the cable, and a controller in it. Using the case does make the package a little bulkier to carry around, but if you're putting this in a piece of luggage, then it shouldn't be an issue. This case costs around $50 to $60. DEPGI doesn't have any additional accessories to pair with their monitor. I wouldn't worry too much about putting this in a case though, since both monitors are fairly sturdy on their own. It's just a nice to have for peace of mind. And just a quick note, no, the DEPGI monitor will not fit in the xScreen case if you were hoping to mix and match. This is probably the biggest difference between these two monitors, and probably one of the main factors you'll be using when it comes time to make a buying decision. It's worth noting that the Xbox Series S retails for $300, but can often be found on sale for closer to $250. The xScreen also retails for $250, so you're doubling the price of the console in order to use this peripheral. At the time of this recording, the xScreen is actually on sale for $200, and every accessory they offer is also discounted right now. DEPGI's monitor retails for $300, which is more than what you probably paid for the console. However, while making this video, I've seen the price drop to as low as $260, so keep an eye out for discounts. So the xScreen is obviously cheaper by $50 to $60, and that's pretty much the price of a new game or a few months of Xbox Game Pass. But I'm also someone who really appreciates HDR on my main living room TV. Personally, I'm fine saving the money and missing out on a couple display features, since this isn't my main gaming display. When it comes to picking which display you're going to travel with best, I feel like the xScreen wins pretty easily. The only real shortcomings UPspec has compared to DEPGI is that the screen is smaller and doesn't support HDR. DEPGI does have the better display visually, but these products are geared towards ease of use and portability, and the xScreen wins in every one of those categories. It has a smaller form factor, so it can fit into more types of bags or luggage. It requires less cables, so getting it set up and gaming is a quicker and smoother experience. And the option to buy the additional carrying case is a nice bonus. Most importantly, it's significantly cheaper. Both of these are premium priced accessories, but I'm still looking to save money where I can. The xScreen is easily the better monitor if you're looking to take your Xbox Series S on the go. But I want to hear from you. Do either of these seem like something that you would use to game on the go? Or would you prefer to just leave the consoles behind and stick with a Switch or Steam Deck? Let me know in the comments, and thanks for watching.